afternoon, good evening if it all you are in different time zone. So welcome to the troubleshooting session of COSO troubleshooting. In this session, mainly I will cover. Uh, I will take one of the content pack which is deployed on top of the COSO suite. Okay, and then I will go through where to look into it and what are the artifacts which this troubleshooting will cover. So mainly, I think in the last session, we might have heard from Rahul and Wunni or Srinath that from COSO team that the what are the components in COSO and what are the components in each content and how the data flow and then what are the components are responsible to move the data to collect and move and then store into the Vertica database. So just to recap what you have learned it. So in this session, I will just go to one of the content, like system infra content, what are the table structure and how the data flows to these tables and what are all the control task flows which will help to move the data to table 1 to table 2. uh, yeah, this flow I'm going to explain. Okay, let's move on to the one of the content pack, system infrastructure content pack, how the data flows the moment you installed our Offspace suite content. Offspace suite content also will be deployed automatically. Okay, and once the content deployed, we have asked to do the post installation tasks. In that post installation tasks, we have asked to configure your data sources, like you need to integrate with your OBM and OBM again further integrate with your agent or site scope or event. Once the integration got completed and successful, the data flows into our COSO system or OSPI environment. How it flows, as explained by COSO team, there are two mechanisms. One is the streaming part, one is the collection, one is the internal um, component, pulsar component, client component using by agent metric collector. Streaming agent metric collector and streaming, they will use they will either directly agent metric collector use the pulsar client and then push the data to a database via a task controller, a task executor, and via UDX it will push into the Vertica. And then another part is the streaming, which will go via COSO receiver component, and from there on, I think you can still visualize the diagram which in the previous meeting he has shown it. So with that data flow diagram in your mind, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to explain the structure, what in the system content pack structure. So first, how the data will flow. This is your sources where agent, this is the mechanism, agent metric collector or streaming, and then site scope. And you have so many here like event, you have like topology under here. So that is event topologies for the different content pack. I'm just talking about the system infrastructure content at present. So these are the two sources. So now what are my source tables? The moment we installed the system infrastructure content, this infrastructure content is bundled with the metadata, what tables needs to be installed, what are the aggregations to be installed, the predefined aggregations. At present, we have only the hourly and then daily aggregation by default. And out of these are metadata information, plus we have a collection configuration. What are the data sources, what are the type and category class data sources needs to be collected That information will bundle along with the task and task flows. Means what is task and task flow means, yeah, you are defining a one action saying that, yeah, hey guy, move from align table to hourly table. This is the action, that is a task. And we have bundled different dependent tasks into one file that is called task flow. We are mentioning, we are orchestrating what needs to be run first and what needs to be run next. So those are the components, or if any Perl scripts you don't want to, I mean that you need or we need further transformation of the data or further computation of the data, then we can write a custom Perl scripts, and all you can bundle in a system infrastructure content pack. The structure and all is already explained. And um, last meeting you might have gone through a custom data ingestion where you can create your own content pack and deploy it into the suite of suite, so that you no need to bother about what are all the uh, different types of folders, where I need to put what files, how do I create metadata, how do I create task flows. All these things you no need to be by heart or learn. The tool, the CMI tool, will create all this information. So uh, for further debugging of any issues, you need to know the flow and then components. So once we install it, the data, all these components will be bundled and then it will be installed. And the moment you configured your OBM and your data sources, the data flows into Vertica. How it flows and how it goes into tables. By default, the moment we installed, we have these are the source tables. Means the moment we have configured our sources, the data flow into these tables. For system infrastructure, we have two different types of source tables. One is for the agent and another is for the agentless. So the site scope data, we are storing agent data into agent tables and agentless data into agent tables. Either there are two different ways of data flow mechanisms. One is there is a component inside OpsSuite suite that is called agent metric collector. That collector will go and pull the data and then load it into system. The streaming policy which you have configured your OBM for the system management, that will push into your COSO. Now these are the sources mechanisms to push the data, and the streaming knows the destination table also. We will mention in a policy what is my source type and category. For example, scope global, scope and CPU, disk, all these things. And then we will map the target table as well. Once we map the target table, it knows what table I need to push the data. So it will push into respective tables. Even in agent metric collector also, we will mention my target tables. So we will mention of the agent CPU and node and tied with my data source and category, like global, scope global, or scope CPU, scope disk and all. So that uh, alignment or that key value pair which we have given in our agent metric collector or in the streaming policy will move the data respectively into these source tables. Once we have moved into source tables, we don't want to differentiate customers whether it is a agent based node or agentless based node in a reports. Means we want to repeat the same report structure for the agent and agentless. So for that reason, we have created one aligned table, which will contain both the data from agent and agentless. It will store into one aligned table. And out of box, we have created and we have enabled only agent based aggregation. Okay, if you see here, this table or the aligned table contains both agent and agentless data. From there, we will do aggregation for this whole data, and aggregation and forecast we will do. Apart from that, in the table structure, if you see, you might have observed OffSP agent node. This is my source table, and OffSP agent node 1H, agent node underscore 1H. So the separate aggregations are there for agent and agentless. So out of box, we are not creating any reports out of this aggregation, only agent based reports and agentless based reports. Out of box, which we are giving is the reports based on these aligned tables. And once the data comes into aligned table, we will run the aggregations. Aggregations 1H 1D is based on aligned table except for the disk. For the disk data, we are computing because of different data and the structure, we are computing here based on hourly. But rest of the tasks, rest of the tables or rest of the type and categories of the system management, we are computing from the aligned tables. And we have a forecast also. This is hourly daily, and we have a forecast also, which is more relevant here for the node level metrics and file system metrics. For others, the forecast will be performance centric, and it's not relevant much useful. So there is no forecast tables designed out of box. This is how the data will compute and then flow. Now I will go to the next slide where I will explain what or which task, how the task flows will, and what you will mention in a task so that the data move from here to here. I will pause a few seconds, a few minutes. Just let me know if any questions in understanding this part.
So, Krishna, as you mentioned, only we are doing the aggregation of only agent-based data. Then, what is the use of bringing agent list and agent-based data in aligned table? How we are
No,
segregating in aligned table?
I'm not aggregating only agent data. I'm doing aggregating both the data.
Okay,
Once I
then.
moved all these tables data to here, I'm
Mhm.
aggregating here. On
Okay.
top of it, there is separate aggregations for agent based, only agent based aggregation. Okay, and agentless based aggregation tables also there in the system.
Okay, so you are maintaining together as well as separate for agent. So,
Yes, agent and agentless both.
okay. No, no, in
And
system in sys infra node, you are putting agentless as well as agent. On top of that, you are doing aggregation, and also you are doing separate aggregation for agent base also, right?
agent based, yeah, and then side copy. Yes, I'm doing. But out of box reports
Uh-huh.
doesn't depend. The reports are only on top of these tables only, not
O-
on the agent based aggregation tables on agentless based aggregation
Okay.
tables.
So one more query. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's say customer wants to have a forecast for CPU disk. Okay. So is it possible to create those? Talking about a forecast.
Yeah, so if the customer wants a forecast for the other tables, out of box, we are not supporting. Um, but as per the design, it's not. We can't further extend the existing one.
So there is no flexibility, right? You mean to say some customer expect to have a CPU forecast. So there is no possibility we can configure that. I understand that there is out of box it is not configured, but let's say for a customer purpose we can't do that also, yes, right? This is what you are trying to say.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. If no questions, I will move to the next slide. I will explain one more different structure for the availability data flow. So all this node level CPU disk and all is we don't require a much computation, and it's a straightforward what the data which we have received from the source we can be using the state aggregation functions. We can automatically the COSO will take care moving the data to the respect to hourly and daily tables. But whereas, as I mentioned, some of the data which we need more transformation and then more aligned as per the our requirement. So this is one of the system availability. Always, as you know, there are so many components around availability uh, pro, like downtime and uh, there is a so many things late arrival things which we need to calculate it. um, and also sometimes agent will be down and then um, but agent system system may not be down, only the agent service is down and then the data is there, and then later they are going to push whole data after some time. And there are so many scenarios. There are some customers have a planned downtime. All these things will be there, and excuse downtime sometimes they will configure and all. So to handle all these scenarios, uh, this system availability requires a custom Perl script needs to be created. So how the how the system availability custom Perl script will help to see a better data in our reports, understandable data in our reports. As you know, the source for the availability is from the agent, the GBL uptime seconds. Only that metrics only we will get it. From GBL uptime seconds, uh, I mean, the system will. Um, can you mute somebody? Yeah. Okay. So only from the system availability, all these custom scripts required. So once my data reach into these tables, this is my data sources, and then the data will reach into respect to agent node and then agentless node, and then again we will move that data into sysinfra node. And from there, there are three different tables here. Uh, we have a aggregation for the 5 minutes in this table, and hourly aggregation and then daily aggregation. Whereas these tables, again, I forget to mention in this, the granularity of the data here in the agent and agentless tables, you can 5 minute and then 1 minute. That is the configurable. You can configure in the agent side. It's a 5 minute data I want it, or 1 minute data you want it. That based on the scenario you can configure here. But out of box, that is the configuration which we are moving at the 5 minute. So here again, the same data we will further. This is not a straightforward 5 minute here, because we need to further compute the GBL uptime seconds in and then put it properly for each hour. So each 5 minute we will put it here, and after that the data will flow to our availability 1H, and then we will calculate daily from availability table. So this is a bit little bit different structure compared to other tables availability, and this availability requires more of custom Perl scripts inside it, where we need to compute as per the data available here. Now this is the table structure and then how the data flows onto each system infrastructure content pack. Now I will go on the task flows. So what is the, as I mentioned, what is the task flow and then task? Task is a small action which needs to be performed, whereas task flow is a combined list of these actions and then orchestrate in the in one file, that is task flow. So for example, now here I am talking about system infrastructure availability task flow, how it looks like. So I have a in that parent here where system available data, and then this is my source table to be computed here. So, and I have a aggregation tables like agent based, agentless based, and combined, and we have a another system uptime. There is a procedure here. So all these things are there for the availability data to be computed. So the moment I have a table called source tables, I'm just orchestrating this is. So all this will run parallelly once here, and then this is the independent. All this will run parallelly, and based on agent node 1H and 1D. I mean, the notation is one hourly. This is the ID. In a task flows, we will mention the ID, a task flow ID or task flow name. Both we will mention, but ID is mandatory. So once we mention uh, this task flow, what we are mentioning under 1H and then 1D or agent node is under task flow, we will have a parameter. Okay, run this Perl script and run this Perl script, or this is my source table and this is my destination table, and then how it will run, either through default aggregate or through custom script. That is the information we will give in a task, and we will under task flow orchestration we will see, we will mention, yeah, 1D is dependent on here. So my source for this one is this table, and my destination is another forecast table. So this flow we will mention in my task flow. So you no need to much delve into it now, but all these structure will be there in each task, and then you will see this one into your item monitoring dashboards. Once we have a COSO provided by default out of box a monitoring dashboard. So for each task flow, you will see what are all the tasks inside it and what is the status in a monitoring dashboard. This is one of the system infrastructure task flow availability. And if I have a custom Perl script, and if I have aggregation, this is a mixed one where I'm just explaining for the native data. So in this, again, I can run all these task flows parallelly, and it requires further computation for here. That's why I have mentioned is a custom Perl script. There's no difference for, I mean, that to view from outside, but inside the task, instead of aggregate function, I will give you, I will point as a parameter as my custom task flow. You run my custom task flow so that it will compute that one, and then from there on, the COSO aggregations will automatically taken care by looking into the flow which we have defined in a task flow. So this is how the data will move, and then this is the task flows level. Now I will go on the further troubleshooting on the report side. Again, we have a further session on BVD troubleshooting sessions and by TS teams. So they will go through online and then they will explain where to look into what logs and all. But I will explain here in this session in the high level which components are of the COSO is taking care to move the data from one table to another table. So the moment we see where we will see the gap or system is not running mainly on the BVD dashboards. You will see the BVD dashboards where the dashboards contain all the data, or is there any gaps or no data. So the symptom is in the reports you didn't find, we didn't find the desired results, and or some gaps in the data for the sum of the days. Then we will understand, yeah, there are some gaps are there or no data in a reports. Then what to do? Then the first point of contact, I mean, what we will say, we will see whether all the data tasks or task flows as run or not. We'll go to the monitoring dashboard and we will see the task flows, post load task flows, whether those are running or not. If the task flows are running, then what the task flows will see first for the reports. By the way, for the BVD reports, we have a data both from common tables. I will go through this table. For the BVD reports, we have a data from, we are taking data from these tables plus hourly table and daily table. So if you select in a BVD reports, if you select the date range is less than 2 hours, then it will get the data from aligned tables, from the raw tables. That means which contains the 5 minutes data. If you select a 1 month or more than a month, you will get it from hourly table, and if it is, oh sorry, you will get it from the daily table if it is monthly. So there are some reports which you will get it from the daily table. So all and all the reports I will categorize as this is my raw table and then these are the aggregation tables. So if you select less than 2 hours of
Sorry.
data, you will report will automatically pull from here. And if you select more than in a month, you will get it from the aggregation tables. Yeah, question.
So can you just say it again? So for more than a month, that be extracting from aggregate hourly aggregate table. Yeah.
Yes.
What about daily aggregate table? When do you get the? When do you use the? When is it the daily aggregate table? Is that for week or?
No. Uh, Sorry, not for a month. Okay. For what we are seeing, we are getting from if it is more than a month, we are getting from a, or no, not more than a month. I will
Oh,
come back to the date range from where we are getting. I will just look into it and then come back. I'm not fully that I don't know the time range, but I will immediately check and then come back. So, but if you are selecting hours of data within 2 hours and all, uh, we have designed a query in a BVD to get the data from 5 minutes table. If you have a date range is I will tell you the number. Okay. So if that date range, we will get it from aggregate tables. I will give you in a short notice after this session, or my colleagues will give you that information. Okay. So that is the behavior in my BVD reports. So if no data in my common tables itself, uh, then and then there is a common tables and aggregate tables. But if you select uh, less than 2 hours or less by default reports will refresh with the last 12 hours of data. Okay, and if you don't have any data in the reports, by default last 12 hours of data, that means the data is not there in my common tables itself. The data available, or sometimes you are able to receive the data for the last 12 hours, but you don't have a data when you select last 1 month for some of the days. Then we will see in the aggregate tables. So we will see in the common tables, if data is available in a common tables, the common tables I am talking about the previous data flow, the combined table. That table has data but no aggregations. Then what we will do is we will see whether aggregations task flows, related aggregation task flows ran or not. Is there any errors in the aggregations log? Mainly those aggregations issues, not by default the script issues of mainly the Vertica issues or Vertica availability, as well as the certificates. Is there any certificate changes in between? Those are the main issues which we observe the data flow not running for the aggregations. So data available in my common tables, but we don't have any data in aggregation tables. In that case, we'll see the aggregate log and we'll observe whether all the data, I mean that the data flow or any errors in the flow, we will check that part. Even if my common table itself has no data, then we will see if common tables, as I mentioned earlier, these common tables have another custom task flows. Common tables means the data is there in my agent table and agentless table. We will use a custom scripts to pull both the tables and move into common tables. So that common tables using custom task flows and then that custom scripts. So we'll look into those custom scripts issues. Is there anything in the Perl scripts issues which are expecting some parameters but not there, are expecting some data satisfied of these conditions and then moving data. So that information will be there in the custom scripts. I will go through the next slide, the troubleshooting for the default task flow as well as the custom task flow, where we need to look into it for these error logs. The data is there in the common tables, but not in the source, the raw tables itself. So if data itself is not there in my raw tables, then we will look into the source specific issues. So I'm just explaining this part. I'm coming from here. If data is there, my align tables, after that data is not there in my source tables. If no data in my source tables itself, I'll go and then look into the agent system, which is pushing the data to here, agent and then Sitescope system. So that's how the flow here. I will go to the common tables and aggregation tables, and then the source raw tables, and then the source specific troubleshooting. This source specific troubleshooting is not only for the OSPI suite. I think uh, agent and Sitescope is a legacy products already there. So we can go through the agent systems and then see the HP trace log and all, and see the data is there or not. I will go through later point of time. So this how we will troubleshoot, and I will go through one of the troubleshooting for the availability data. As I mentioned, if you see here the availability task flow, this is the availability task flow where we have a data in hourly, daily, all these task flows, and then we have a custom Perl script also. If you see here, if availability section of BVD reports, the availability data you will see in three different tables like executive summary, availability, top end reports, and then availability detail report. If these tables if these reports are empty, the cause might be the BVD queries are not returning any data. The data is there in my database, but BVD queries are not returning any data. Maybe the conditions which we have put it in a report to properly visualize, maybe that is not satisfied, or the connection between BVD and database itself is broken, or the required permissions are not there in the tables. Out of box, we have given all the permissions, but if at all something or some debug something happened in the system or somebody modified uh, the database permissions, we won't see that. We won't see the data in a reports, even though we have data in Vertica. And another cause might be the relevant the tables required for the availability reports are not created, and not having at all a data, or the task flows are not running, and we'll see the task flows are running, but there is some errors inside the task flow. These are the different causes. So the moment we don't see the data, we'll understand the structure first. Okay, my agent level agent monitor nodes or agentless monitor nodes, we will always keep in mind, okay, this is the data flow. Okay, agent and agentless both will load into system infra node table. From there we have a 5-minute data of species infra avail, and then hourly, and then daily. Keep in mind this is the data flow, and we will debug step by step. So first we will see in my raw table wall, as I mentioned earlier, we always will get a uptime seconds. The GBL uptime seconds is the metric where we will get from the agent, where we'll see the uptime seconds. We'll see whether this data is there or not. If the data is present in my source table, raw tables, and we will see the common table, the data is computed, uptime seconds value is computed, and then put it here or not. If the data itself is not present in common tables, then we will verify. As I mentioned, there is a custom task flow which will push the data from both agent and agentless to here system avail. Is those task flow is ran or not from the dashboard? And if no data in a system infra tables also, but we have a data in agent table and agentless table, then we'll see the troubleshoot the custom script troubleshooting steps. Again, in where to look into these custom scripts. For each agent and agentless, we have created each for the agent and agentless, there is a separate logs. These logs are NFS, and this is the log path, and under reports, and we have a agent infra, and then by default this we have enabled for the error. If at all any errors are there, it will log into these tables, these log files. So we need to look into these log files and then see any custom script errors in these log files. If what are the type of errors which we will see here? Normally we will see, okay, some table itself is not created or doesn't exist. or we will see further errors like the certificate related issues. When we change the certificate related issues, that also will be stored here in this log file. So based on the log errors, either we need to re-verify my task flows, whether re-verify whether any configuration got changed in recently, or my installation itself is something goofed up. If the tables itself is not created, that means my installation, OSPF installation, has some issues where it didn't created proper tables as I mentioned in a content. We need to check that part. It's and if it is some certificates are changed in recently between the Vertica and then source systems, we need to check is there anything changed, and then have you followed proper documentation to rerun uh, uh, the deployment so that this certificate is intact to all required pods. So by default, as I mentioned, it is error log only it will mention, but we can change to the info log and then validate any further data, further information is logged so that we can understand where exactly the error. This is the path where you can go to the NFS location and DI post load configuration reports. Under this reports path, we have a log. We have a for each table we have different configuration file. You can change it to the info log and collected the data. Once you change to info log and you collect, uh, at least you run for one task flow, and that means how do I know one task flow completion? You can see in the monitoring dashboard whether it started or, and this particular task flow is started or not. This task is started or not. You can see in a monitoring dashboard, and then see in your log file which contains is the sufficient information or more detailed log level, and then data uh, is that log is useful or not. So once we got proper data into the log for one run, and then you can change back to error state. Otherwise, log keep on increasing. Though we have a archive mechanism, but lot of information will be logged into the log file. So that's what we are asking again to put it back to error so that from next runs you don't require those much data to analyze. Once the data is there, so this is where we will came to know is there any errors in the logs and then how to remediate. As of now, we are asking the support our support our CP support, as well as the team is helping to further verify. No, it's not auto remediate. We need to look into the logs and understand what errors and all, and then either you can uh, come to the CPE team, or if it is any certificate related errors, you can better because we changed the certificates, and then we need to rerun those steps, the deployment steps. All these detailed steps or troubleshooting steps already present in our doc portal. I will give you the doc portal link so that you will see for each task flow or each error how to troubleshoot. So we have extensive list. I just mentioned only one here, but we have so many troubleshooting steps mentioned in our doc portal. I will give you the doc portal link. And these are the different files which we have. We can change it to the error log or to info log. Now this is that custom task flows where to look into the errors and all. In case of I don't have a custom task flow, but I have a regular task flow where I didn't write any Perl scripts. Okay, I just mentioned the system. Okay, this is my source system, source table, this is my target table and all directly tables. And in those tables, if still you don't see any data in your system infrastructure reports, again same procedure. We will see these are the different types of causes, and then the solution where we will look into it. It's differently than custom Perl script log. So we will see whether the data is there again in my source tables. If my source table itself is no data, then we will see my site scope streaming or AMC is pushing the data to here or not, or site scope is policies are deployed and data is pushing or not in that direction. If no data here in agentless tables, agent and agentless table, these are the source tables. If we will see the agent tables first of all, and then the data is moved to the common tables or not. And as I mentioned, there is a small custom task scripts are there, custom Perl scripts. We'll see the agent tables are moving to the sysinfra tables, or agentless data is moving to the sysinfra. Both the tables will have a common table. So that information again from the same path, I have a OSPI agent specific at agentless specific logs. This is the same log size which I have mentioned here in the path. So you can go here and then verify the relevant tables, relevant logs. So agent specific and agentless specific logs we will see, and the data is moved or not. And my aggregation tables are not. That is for the source tables. My aggregation tables itself, 1H1D tables itself is not populating any data. Then these aggregations is again binded with the task flows, task errors. We'll see the task flow or task errors. Anything in our monitoring dashboard, it will directly populate, or in the system, we will see in a we will go through the step by step, and all these aggregations will be there under aggregate.log. So the default aggregate we'll see in the aggregate log, we will see any errors in the aggregated log. And this aggregate log is responsible by COSO post load task executor. The task executor will, this is the COSO component where the task executor will execute this Perl script or these uh, default aggregations. And there is a task controller which will take the status of the task which is running or it's completed, and then we'll assign the next tasks. So these are the internal components, the task controller and task executor. And so those will take care the data movement. So for these aggregations, if any errors are there, it will be there in our aggregate log. The path is the NFS path, and then we have a namespace. And after that, there is a post load task executor. This with the pod name will be there. And then after in that, we have aggregated log. We have it all the task executors log will be there so that we will verify those logs, and then we'll identify is there any further default issues are there. So we can see that few examples which I am just mentioning here, which I got it from the system. So if you find these errors like Vertica error, unable to find the config files, or some certificate errors, just we will see the database connection is running here. Or have you changed any passwords recently? So those information we need to debug further and then rectify it. So these are different types of errors we have seen, and then this is the solution. This is for the aggregation. Similarly, for the forecast, there's no difference. Only we have seen aggregate log there, and then flow also a bit different here. Just see the flow, and you can see if any forecast data is not there, we can see in the forecast log. Same location, but we can see in the forecast.log table, log file. And then errors also, I mean that based on some of the errors, we can identify whether this is the database connection is there or database is impacted or any issue with the database. This is the main error I have seen, I have captured, but there are some other errors also we have seen, but those are the I have given documented in a troubleshooting guide in our doc portal. I'll provide those troubleshooting steps links so that we can go through it and then and see any further errors are based on the symptoms. We will go through the uh, each of the troubleshooting steps mentioned in our doc portal. Are the internal in a COSO, but whereas once we have a data these are the source specific for the streaming specific, and then agent metric collector, and then site scope data. So the moment we first of all know data in my source table itself, then we will go to our agent specific. Yeah, we will go to agent, and then we will see HPCS trace logs, and is there any errors over there itself in the agent itself. This is not related, not exactly related to Obsby suite, but as I mentioned, all these things is on the agent level debugging. So once the agent level data is there, and some errors in the agent level, then we need to rectify by um, as per the agent specific debug. For timing, I'm just mentioning one of the things, like we edit SPCS configuration file, and then we will set the default to all, and then restart SP sensor, and we will see the data is collected at pushing to COSO or not. We'll get more details here. Sometimes the streaming policy which we have deployed, is that also a problem, or OBM is not receiving, or the streaming policy doesn't contain the streaming policy is not properly deployed. The exact streaming policy is not deployed. By default, OBM will contains the streaming policy, but we need to, if at all the new streaming policy is there, we need to look into anything is published or not. For the for the respective OSPI suite, if streaming policy is there, everything is properly fine, and then it is those logs are showing the data is flowing, then we will see the connection between OBM and COSO is properly done or not, the certificate exchange. If this is done, then we will see the data is there and then flowing, then we will see, as I mentioned earlier, the streaming data will always move to the receiver, then we will see the receiver log. The receiver is another component in COSO where it will receive the data from the streaming part, and then log into any errors into the receiver. And once the data is there, and then we'll see the data move to the pulsar topic. If the data is there in the pulsar topic, and how to see whether my data is there or not in a Pulsar topic. Yeah, we need to go to the Pulsar Bastion and then we'll see the relevant topic name. The topic names mostly on the or the notation is the topic name is nothing but your table names. And once the data is there, my Pulsar topic, there is another UDX log. There is a container where UDX scheduler log. So we'll get those logs and then we'll see is there anything problem with the UDX scheduler. There is another component, and we came to know that if it is a disk full or any issues. Okay, so these are the endpoints or the troubleshooting steps for the from the source level to high level on the arm onto my raw tables. And from raw tables to aggregation tables, as I mentioned in the previous slide, so those are the another set of tables or logs which we need to look into it. So we'll categorize like raw tables, raw data flowing, and then aggregate data flowing. So similarly for streaming, this is the part, and then for the collector part, agent metric collector, which is directly don't have any receiver here, but it will directly put into the Pulsar topic, and we'll see the and the rest of the things are as these things same thing. So this is the collector, and for the site scope again, this is again the site scope level debug which we need to do it, and from there again the certificate and site scope again always push via receiver. So we'll see the receiver logs, and we'll see in a site scope specific, we'll see the relevant monitors are enabled or disabled. And if if you enable or disable later, and then we'll need to redeploy the streaming policy and then verify in the site scope side. Okay, these are the different source level, source to the raw tables debugging. And I have a detailed debugging sessions in my steps in my doc portal, in our doc portal of doc portal. I will give you those links so that you can debug, or it can be utilized whenever we see no data in our reports. Okay, so that is the primary debugging session on the data flow side. Any questions? Okay, if no questions, that's all from my side. Alex K.
Yes. Hey, it's Alon here. Okay, thank you very much, Krishna. Okay, we have another presentation. So let me stop the recording.